Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to season number 2 of the Nebraska Farm Series on Green Valley, Nebraska. I am your host, the Rental Man Buck. Popping outside, we have a lot of updates that have happened since the end of last year's harvest, which we pretty much ended out this series on a stream. And Kevin has already been here this morning. If you guys possibly saw in the intro, I haven't decided yet if I put it in, as he is taking the 08 flatbed and we're going to put a service bed on it, finally bringing back what was my uncle's 2008 service truck. I am going to keep the 03 because this truck is the only one that has a plow mount, and I'd rather not get rid of it. Actually a good truck, and might not hurt to have 2 service rigs since we're also doing our own combine inspection, getting the S780 finished up so we can pack it in the shed for the season. I'm going to bite the bullet, about $7,200, and we're going to get the 8430 prepped with Green Star. We're going to get a Gen 4 monitor, Starfire 6000, because I'm not paying the extra money that it takes to run 3000's GPS, and the harness, because it's not Green Star ready. Excuse the decals, sometimes this game likes to overload itself for a little bit, so they're blurry, but my 8345R, we're pretty much set. All we're going to do is service it up, get some new fluids, get it ready for tillage. And back here we have the 4940 self-propelled sprayer. I am thinking of maybe swapping this out for a Haggy front-mounted sprayer instead of the rear-winged boom from the Deere one. And then our 9430 is just chilling in the back, getting ready to also start tillage season. Heading outside, we have a couple of different arrangements of things that have changed. Corey now does not drive the square body. He actually just keeps it on the farm, so we just have an extra little farm truck to run around with. In the Quonset, we have also sold off the TLX in favor of a Freightliner Freight Shaker, FLT, and the STS is parked in the back. We replaced our machine shed in favor of a more Americanized modern one, so we got a little bit of extra storage space. And while we're at it, because they're kind of like family, we might as well put the semis in the shed and actually keep them nice. Sprayer trailer, propane trailer, even the Thunder Creek got a nice new spot. Plus, we put some new tires on it over the winter so it's not sagging as bad. Other than that, our grain bin system has been completely organized for the winter season. We have corn that needs to be dried in this bin, dried corn in this bin, and soybeans in the far bin. But my good buddy Benny, who distributes some sunflower equipment, wanted to have me try out some of their tillage equipment with the ground that we have right now. But we've had about a week and a half, 2 weeks worth of above freezing temperatures, and this week's been pretty much almost in the 50s, close to 60s. We got this 5035 30-foot cultivator. He also swung us out a 6631 vertical till and a 12 shank strip tiller. I'm going to be interested to see if that strip tiller is going to be good enough to tear up the tile ground that I wanted to make additional fields from last year, but we're going to need to run Anhydrous in that field. I'm going to run in the town real quick, pick myself up some Anti-Clean from the garden store, and hopefully by the time I'm back, the boys should be here and we can get everything out and we'll get farming. If you guys do enjoy content like this and you would like to see more, be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below. By commenting, liking, sharing, and subscribing, you guys can help us reach the goal of 100,000 public subscribers by the end of this year with getting this video into the algorithm. I really do appreciate all you wonderful people, since Nebraska is by far one of my favorite series on this channel, since I am from Nebraska myself. I have been in contact with Andy of Andy Clean. I might actually be going to a farm show with him and Marty come March. I'll let you guys know more about that as time goes by, but there's a little tractor show in a small town in Illinois that he called me up the other day and he said, "Hey, would you want to go to one of those shows and have some fun?" And I said, yes, there's a very good possibility of that. And putting it that way, there's just a lot of fun things that can be done this year, and I'm really excited to get things underway. You know, I actually forgot to note it, though. We do have $404,000. That is true. I'll tell you this much. Morning, Jerry. Where's your... Okay, gotcha. But the $404,000 is actually all of mine. Between all the equipment that I've sold and I've trucked in a couple loads of grain for contract work, we actually are sitting at $400,000. I have not made any payments yet to the bank to start paying off that loan, but I'm waiting for prices to get just a little bit higher. That way we can just pay it off, not necessarily all at once, but we'll still have a good lump sum ready. Remember, folks, farming does not have to be dirty, and if you want the best farm soap in the world, be sure to stop by your local John Deere dealer and pick up yourself some high-performance foam cleaner from Andy Clean. The guys still haven't arrived yet. I'll jump on my field map though, and I'll show you guys what our plan of attack is. We're going to be flipping the rotation of where our crop was from last year, so we have to put Anhydrous down on the bean fields, and we're just going to vertical till over the top of the corn stalks on all the cornfields. The only exception is we're going to take that 12 shank ripper, and I'm going to rip right up alongside this riverbed and try and get this field to be a bit bigger, since on fields like 15, parts of the south side of 25, and technically even right alongside field 24, they just have some bigger hillsides. It's a lot harder for equipment to get up and plant onto. It's way too high of an angle. Daryl does have some news, however. If we pop back in, he bought ground just west of my place on field 39. This entire grass plot, he's just doing some hay ground out of this. But he also acquired field 29, and this is wheat ground, so we could do this come spring. I'm going to start by getting the 8345R hooked up to my Anhydrous rig, and Daryl will be the one that brings in my monitors that I have for the 8430. I don't have them on hand right now. He said he'd go up to the dealer and pick it up. I'll just reimburse him the cost of what it takes to get all the stuff. Finally, everybody is here. Daryl and Corey are working on the servicing of the 8345R. I have Kevin working on filling up the fuel tank on the 9430, and I am getting ready to start installing the GPS and Starfire in the 8430. It's just that it's really nice out, and plus it's a little bit brighter outside, and I got to take apart all this paneling on the right side so I can run the harness and get the gen display to be set up right below the speedometer on the right side. It'll take me a minute, but I'm not too worried. Let's get our receiver mounted up on top of the cab, and the gen display monitor put up in the cab. Perfect. The monitor has been installed. Very expensive. Kind of stupid how expensive that is. Let's turn it on and see if we got ourselves some life. Well, we got power to it. That's a first. And our display is active. Perfect. So we now have a third tractor equipped with GPS on the farm. I like that. This I will have pulling the cultivator, since that does not take much power. Make sure you are all pushed in. Perfect. This is a good look and feel cultivator too. Not really going to use this thing a whole lot since I already have the Anhydrous bar as my cultivator, but if I need to go get some tougher stocks that the vertical till can't really knock down, this will be a good to use in that, since it's got a shorter wingspan than that vertical till, so it can kind of contour to the land a little bit easier. Plus, this might be a little bit better idea to do for those harder soil areas. It breaks it up a little bit better. Daryl, how's the R series going? You just wrapping up? Beautiful. I'm going to go ask Kevin about the 9430 and see where he's at. Kevin, how many more gallons do you think you got for that thing? Still about a quarter tank left? That'll be fine. Just make sure it's stupid. I know this thing has DEF. In real life, this tractor does not have DEF, but for some odd reason in the DEF pack, this tractor has DEF. Top it off with all the fuel, and this thing should be ready to roll. As for you, maintaining these things are not cheap. $21,000 later, and our service bar is full. We will need to fill this tractor up, though, with fuel. While this is finishing up fueling, we're going to do one quick service update on our 9430, and we'll be in the field. I'm going to take this first, and I'll get Daryl started on Anhydrous. Corey, I haven't decided what you are going to do yet, but you could go run down to the co-op and get me a couple trailers of Anhydrous so we can keep Daryl rolling. They have that situation under control. I'm going to take the 12 shank ripper and go tear up some of the tile ground. I won't be using this sunflower a whole lot, but for stuff like the test plot, we'll just take our disc harrow in there quick and knock the stalks down. But this field is our tile ground. If you guys remember us installing about, 30,000 feet, I said, of drain tile. Let's drop the strip tiller and get ourselves some more working ground. I'm trying to get as close to that outlet as I can. That pipe is way further down in the soil than these shanks are actually going. But I'm going to rip this line all the way down towards the east, and by the end of this, I'm hoping to have maybe another acre or possibly 2 of arable farm ground. I think I could even get closer to that waterway. The erosion's not going to be nearly as bad as, say, as if it were on that hillside and I was trying to go towards the water. I'll throttle the girl up, though, get this thing going a little bit quicker since I don't want to be breaking anything on this piece of equipment as we are still working in pretty hard ground. But we'll take care of this, and we'll see you guys in a little bit. looking at it from above, we really did kind of open up the length of the field. That way it's just a bit closer to the water bank and we can get a bit more crop in. This side, I don't know if I'm going to shorten it just a little bit by letting it overgrow with grass. But I think that is a fantastic way to at least start. And this sunflower really did a good job. I didn't see any issues with the shanks. I didn't see any issues with the rollers. It pulled really smoothly. The 9430 didn't even really have a nag to have on it. I mean, it just did the job and called it a day. I'm going to head back and get the vertical till put on this tractor since that's what the primary function is going to be with this today. And hopefully, fingers crossed, the anhydrous rig is ready to go so we can send them down and start putting gas in that field and all the other remaining bean fields since we're literally going to do a full crop rotation this year. I definitely think I'll keep this little strip tiller around the farm. It really does seem like it could actually have some really good benefits. But this is the mamma jamma that I'm really looking forward to. This bad boy is definitely going to be able to stomp and chop some stalks. Hopping in the 8345R, we have a full tank of ammonia behind us. The 9430, we're going to wait a little bit. Corey is right now on his way with the square body Chevy to go get us another tank of anhydrous down from the co-op. Once he gets back, we're going to put him in this, and then I'm going to jump back up to the 9430 with the VT and start working the corn ground around the main farm. Doesn't really matter though. Let's get this thing in the field, start laying some anhydrous. Trying to stay on top of things. Corey's going to keep running on the anhydrous. We're going to leave the tank there in case he needs to trade off, which I highly doubt he will, but if anything, keep things rolling. I'm going to send Daryl into the bank, though, to deposit a check for our loan payment, which is going to be about a $175,000 payment, but hey, $175,000, I'll take that right off from having to pay that loan every single day. It's like $1,500 a day right now. Daryl, how close are you being done to wrapping up the combine? 30 minutes? Okay, when you're done, I'll set the check there. Take that into town. That's our loan payment. Sounds good. Thanks, Daryl. And with that money now gone, we are officially only $75,000 in the hole. Originally $250,000, but hey, I'll take $75,000 over $250,000 any day of the week. Looking at my map, we have 15, 11, 22, 36, 26, and that's pretty much it for knocking stocks. So I'm actually going to work my furthest way back, meaning I'm going to head over to field, let's start with field 36, and we will start knocking some stocks down with this bad boy, seeing what this thing puts to the dirt. I'm going to be interested to see how field 22 performs as beans, as I don't think since I've actually ran this farm on this save, I have put that field to beans yet, which is oddly surprising because I thought I did do my crop rotations, but I've been wrong. I could be wrong. I'm going to be wrong a lot more. But this is the field I'm looking for. Got a lot of weeds in there, surprisingly. I thought the frost would have killed a lot of those. I really feel bad. The harvest went a lot later than I thought it would, and I didn't really have time to get to tillage before the ground completely froze. Let's just see how well this thing does. I know the ground's going to be a little bit tough, so I don't know how well this is actually going to bite. But we'll try and do our best. It's not getting down to the black dirt that I thought it would, but the ground is still pretty frozen. Like this is like when you take meat out of the refrigerator for like an hour and a half and it's like still cold in the center, but the outside's thawed. That's pretty much the level of what this ground is right now. Like mid-range thawed meat you have to put in the microwave to get the rest of it. Otherwise, it's making a really good cut. Like I'm not really complaining at all. It's getting all the stalks down like I wanted it to, which is exactly what I was looking for. I did get a ring from Corey, though, about 5-10 minutes earlier that he is done with the tile ground, so I sent him over to the field just across the road from my farm, and he's going to start doing that back and forth. I'll have to see if anybody can come out here, because I want to try and run the drone, but I can't really run it too well while I'm in the tractor. Like, I kind of do some good stuff while I'm in my tractor myself, but it really works best when I got somebody else that's driving and I can focus solely and be dedicated on the tractor itself. I don't necessarily know why this thing is kind of pulling at like a sideways angle. I think it might be a mod error. I'm not sure. And one time around, let's do one more for Headland's sake. Just like that. Let's get ourselves pulled around. We'll set up the GPS quick. Start hitting a couple tracks. We are officially now on GPS. I don't know why I need to do the offset, though. That's my only thing. I wonder if it's because, for some odd reason, this disc is pulling sideways. I really don't know why it's doing that, but it's doing that. The GPS is definitely one of the best things that I did for this tractor. Like, this tractor, because it has to pull the DD120, it just has a lot of sophisticated jobs that I would like to use it for, and it's good that I actually have GPS for it. I did adjust my offset. I put that back to center. I don't know why. It was like 1.5 feet off to the right. So let's try that out and drop the disc. Beautiful. Now I can pop back up in the cab and do what kind of drone shots I can get with me running. And if somebody can come down here, I could get a couple of the exterior shots that I really like to get. Looks like Kevin's calling. I hope this is for what I think it is. Yeah, Kevin, what do you need? The 08's done? Oh, you better bring that thing down here. I'm currently down on field 36, just by the, pretty much just west of the co-op. Oh yeah, I'll be here. I'll see you in a bit. So Kevin gave us a call. He said that the 08 Ford is done. I'm going to have him come down to us. We'll kind of show you guys what that looks like for its remaster. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do with the 08 yet. I might just have it follow around this particular piece of equipment. We'll wait until Kevin gets down here, though, to figure that issue out. Until then, we'll see you guys when Kevin gets down here. I'm going to take a wild guess that Helper F is somewhat blocked. I don't know where he's at, but Helper F is blocked, and I think he's requesting assistance. Oh, Kevin has arrived, and I looked back and I didn't realize that I was missing an entire little strip, so I kind of had to fix it. Kevin, you're done. Park it. You're done. Quit driving in circles. You're wasting fuel. Kevin! Kevin! Stop! Stop! Give me axle grease and call me slick. Let's go check this truck out and see what all has been in store for us. I missed this truck. If you guys know what this truck has been to this series, this is like a cornerstone to how this series has played out. Let's take a look at this Butte. This truck could have turned out any better than it did. From what you guys can remember, in 19, I completely stripped off all of my actual 3D diamond plate and I completely redone from the bottom up. I made all of my little doors be interactively controlled. I still have to basically make it have a service feature on it. You can open the hood on it. It has a completely different gauge cluster. The needles are correct. The dash is correct. The radio's the buttons are there. The one thing about this truck that will stay the same, though, is that this truck is going to be private. Still quite a bit of work left to do, but I got to thank my buddy from Buckeye State Farms. You guys know him also as Chad. He was a big portion in helping out with this project since he actually worked on an 08 service truck, and I kind of used this as a building platform, as a template to make the new one. Kevin's going to pop up in the cab. I'm actually not going to go record that. I'm going to go and grab the 8430 back on the home stretch. Make sure Corey is working on the field next to us. I'm going to take that field cultivator, go rip up the tile ground, and we'll all be on the same track of getting things done for the day. And that pretty much should wrap it up because we don't have a whole lot else to do besides the tillage work. Dale, are you pretty much ready to wrap this thing up? Sweet, let's close the covers on it, and I might have you come out there and get ready to start trucking some grain. I got a couple contracts I need to fill, but I don't really have any other person to drive besides you. So Daryl's going to get one of my trucks out, and he's going to start trucking. I think it's, we got a contract, and we got to haul 7 loads of corn out. It's not our stuff, though. I gotta go do it for somebody else. We're pretty much just getting paid for drive time. This is probably a good time to side note. I did not get rid of my 8100. You guys remember the 8100 is technically my bush hog tractor. That is actually now stored down at Daryl's. Daryl has a new shed that he put up, and as a mutual agreement, we pretty much said, hey, can I store this on here and you store this here? Yes. While this will definitely not look like Iowa black dirt, I'm hoping that what this thing will do is going to turn the rest of all of this stubble ground into what I tore up earlier. Well, it's not exactly what I was looking for, but that's still really good dark texture. So far, I'm pretty impressed. I mean, again, it's not leaving what I thought would be that, but that's more of a seed bed. This has at least got the little harrow in the back, but it is taking out all of this stubble like I wanted it to. This is that really, really tight clay soil, so I kind of really want to try and break it up as much as I can. I should be probably going a little bit slower because I don't really want to clog up the cultivator, but this thing is taking it like a champ. I mean, I'm not really having to worry about anything so far. This is the part where I think I'm just going to let this stuff grow back to grass. But if I head up the incline, let's see how well this thing actually takes the contour of that. Like, does that do a good job? Oh, yeah, by far. That does a really good job of that, actually. I've changed my seed drill on this map, I swear, like 10 times, but I finally found it's the 1990 John Deere seed drill. I've been looking for one for however long, since that's the one I originally wanted. But the two of them that are in Giant's Mod Hub don't do the flex. They don't contour to the land. They just sit there flat. So for that, I'm pretty grateful, but now I can start my second headland pass, and then I can start going back and forth. This is actually a pretty good-sized disc for this field. Like, it might take a little bit, but we're making pretty good progress with this thing, especially for the fact that we can go like 12 mile an hour. Let me know down in the comments, though, so you guys know FS Live. But he does the little TikToks where you just show field work like this. If you guys would like to see content where I physically just go on here, do field work, zoom out like this, and I get the, what everybody knows as the dark horse, the dark horse TikToks, I'd be willing to do a couple of those. Since we're getting into the spring season or the field preparation season, I would love to go out there and do some of those really dumb little shots and just have more content to do with this series. I kind of feel that the first Nebraska kickoff might be a little bit lacking, but there's just not a lot to do seasonally right now for this farm. Like, I would really almost be breaking this equipment if I'm doing this in real time. I believe the ground around where I'm at is actually pretty stiff. It's not rock solid, but it's still pretty hard compared to what you'd probably want to be doing this stuff in for conditions. In all honesty, it actually has been pretty warm out, and the ground is pretty soft where I am. For the depths that you're going to be putting one of these things at, I wouldn't think that that's going to be a deep, deep, deep frost. I'll finish up this headland, though, and then we're going to start doing our back and forth east-west passes. Test out the GPS on this tractor for the first time. Moving into position. Which button is my GPS button? I can never remember. Okay, there it is. Set you there. Hop into GPS. AB direction. Booyah. There's that. Perfect. And set our width. 31.3. Beautiful. Definitely gonna have to adjust our track once we get underway, or we'll just come back and clean up what we didn't get. But I did want to test out my GPS to see how well it actually worked with the cultivator. Auto steer is working really great. I haven't had the wheels shimmy back and forth yet. I'm not too worried about that. I can come back and get it. With the addition of Daryl's ground and all of the stuff that I already currently own, we are going to have a lot of work set out for us. I think we're going to be able to do it all this year, but there's a good chance I'm going to need to call in possibly some reinforcements. But our team's done the harvest before. If I could just stay on top of the work before things get bad, I think we're going to be able to manage our way through this season. Other than that, though, guys, I think that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you all so much for checking this one out. Be sure to smash that like button, subscribe down below if you guys want to see more Nebraska Farm series of this season. Hopefully, we're going to have a lot of great episodes. I apologize for this one not being as eventful as the rest, but we are still technically in the winter season, and with this just being a grain operation, really besides truck and grain, which I know Daryl is doing right now, and maybe getting ready for field work and farm maintenance and restoration projects of current farm vehicles, there's just not a whole lot to do right now. But we'll definitely have a whole bunch more work to do come the spring season. Big thank you one more time to my buddy Benny for sending me out all of the sunflower equipment you see today. I don't know its publicities and what it's going to be doing. All I know is that it's something that he's been working on. But I will see you guys all in the next one. This is the Rental Man out. Peace.